So what I'd like to talk about now is the lawsuits and how the lawsuits in other states compare with the law in the state of Nevada, and see if those lawsuits in Nevada would actually hold water.
And maybe see what's coming in the state of Nevada based on the fact that they are kind of breaking the law.
Let's say what could be coming for sure.
Right.
So in Nevada, unlike the other states that we see these lawsuits in, there's a very specific amount that can be charged versus the term reasonable or actual expense. Mm-hmm. So let's take a look at this law in Nevada. So the law in Nevada is very specific about how much they can charge for both the resale package and the escrow demand. Whereas in other states, they have statements such as the actual cost or a reasonable fee. So it's not a defined amount. And that plays a big difference in these lawsuits, right? Because if they're saying, oh, well, you're charging more than what's allowed, but it's not a specific number.
You start to debate what that number is instead of debating it's too much or not.
Right. But in Nevada, that's not even a question.
Why? Because they have a number specific to what the cap is.
Right.
Anything more than that would be
illegal
or too much. More than should be charged.
It would exceed the
regulated
allowed amount. Yes.
By the law passed in 2021.
Right. So as we mentioned before, this law, the law's been there. The amount that's the
law has been there all along, right?
As we mentioned before, the law in Nevada in the NRS 116-4109, the amount that it can be charged has been regulated with a specific amount for many years. But what happened was these other companies were putting their fee on top of what was actually being allowed. And that created a situation where they actually changed the law in 2021.
But there was no verbiage that they could regulate a third party who's doing that. It was really regulating the management company to a specific amount. They were charging more, but then they couldn't regulate what they were doing, so they changed the law.
Right, exactly. And I'm glad you brought that up. So they couldn't, they're regulating the management company, the association, but not the actual document provider or the, as they call us, third-party providers. However, with this new law, they actually put in verbiage here that says specifically any entity related to or acting on behalf of the association. So that would be us, the third party. So we specifically, because of this new verbiage, we cannot charge a fee that exceeds what is allowed by law. Mm-hmm. And then in this law, it goes on to further define and say we cannot charge any fee, A, not authorized in the section, B, an amount which exceeds any limit set forth in the section. So what we're seeing there is there's two things. A, not authorized in the section, that would be what we would call the convenience fee or with the credit card fee that they're charging. And B would be an amount that exceeds what's set forth in this section.
It's pretty clear.
It's pretty straightforward.
Well defined. And as we find, laws are pretty much not well defined. So something happened where someone said enough in legislative, in the assembly. And this laws happen fast, right?
Yeah.
No.
No.
Laws take a long time to happen. So this was happening over years. Anyone that understands how laws were passed and influenced, and this is a small fee, but it's a big deal.
It is. And the thing is, it's a little bit, but it's a little bit a lot of times. Mm-hmm. So when you look at this from, let's say this from a lawsuit standpoint, if you're a management company that does 1,000 transactions, 1,000 resales every year, and you make an extra $40 or $50, or the third party entity makes an extra $40 or $50 on that.
I can do the math on that. That's a lot.
That's a lot. That's a lot of money. And so even though it's only $40 or $50 at a time to the consumer, it's over and over and over.
And the fine isn't just $1, like $50. Oh, you broke the law. It's $50 and it's worth, making $35,000 in a year. But the fine is paying it back.
Well, yeah, and that's the whole point.
We're not really sure, but it's somewhat close to. It's not $50. It's closer to paying it back.
So, can you imagine if the ombudsman's office shows up at the management company and says, "Hey, we know that you're overcharging $50 for every transaction. So this law went into effect in July of 2021. So let me see how many transactions you've done.
Overcharged.
And you have to now repay all of those plus whatever fines and penalties they put on top of it." And if you're a manager, not a management company, if you're a manager watching this, this could affect you because the manager of that association is who's actually responsible because they're the licensed person there, the licensed representative for the association.
The leverage for all this is the licensing. The leverage is for all of this regulation is the licensing. If they did not license you, they would have to put licensing in place and then pass laws and then threaten to take your license away for the regulation to stick. And that's what's going to happen. So management company owners that may not even be licensed, but you can own a company, have licensed managers that can be at risk because you've chosen a company, third party, that does what we do, that overcharges, and they make you more money, but they put you at risk.
So some people might ask, why do we even care? We're not regulated. We're not.
Why don't we do it too?
Right. We could do it too.
It's wrong.
Absolutely.
There's a law specific that says no, and we just can't let our clients do that. I know you feel the same.
Yeah, absolutely. And even before they changed the law in 2021.
No client has come to us. Sorry, man.
Go ahead.
No client has come to us and said, put the fee on top.
I'm going to go a step further. As we have many clients in Nevada, when we talk with them, we actually, prior to this law going into place, we would talk to them about this opportunity to put our fee on top. And 100% of the time they said, nope, don't want to do it. Yeah. It's not right. We might be able to make an extra $5 or $10, whatever. It's not worth it. And you know what? Sometimes you just got to do the right thing.
And this kind of started years ago. I'd say 5 to 7 or more ago, where our competitors were experimenting with kind of covering their merchant credit card fees, which could be $3 to $5, and you'd see those fees creep on. And we started having conversations about, should we do that too? And we could. The end result was always no. We're not going to do that. We could make it without passing that fee on, so we did. But I mean, it's a money grab.
Right.
It's a money grab, plain and simple. And when you're as big as they are, it's a huge money grab.
And I want to caveat to what you said. Back then, we were having those conversations about what we could do
to
and
compete.
It would help us make more money, whatever. But now
I'm glad we didn't.
In my opinion, as far as this law is concerned, we can't do that now.
We couldn't. We could. We just can't. Can't do it. We could physically do it. We could not do it.
Risk to our clients.
We wouldn't do that to our clients, right?
Absolutely.
And that's kind of an example of how maybe the clients for HomeWise Docs and condo certs have gotten, where they go ahead and do this. It is how they make you more money. And technically, as they read the law, we're keeping you to the limit. We're just putting our fee on top because it's fuzzy logic in the law. But when you look at the law or they change it to outsmart the outsmarting, that's when they're caught, because it doesn't, you're not grandfathered in because you did it for 10 years prior.
Right.
That law changes, your business model changes.
Yeah.
So, and that changes not just one business model, but both.
This was important enough when they passed this in legislation that it didn't wait until the next legislative year to go into effect. This law went into effect immediately as soon as it was signed by the governor.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That says a lot.
That's how important it was.
Right. And then we're looking at these other states, Florida, Illinois,
North Carolina,
where they have suits and they are the same named defendant.
Yep.
They're doing it everywhere across the country. And so the next logical place that they will probably do this or have a challenge in is Nevada, which has beefed up their law to, where they may not have won or gotten all the way. We'll talk more in detail.
Yeah.
Here, it's something that I think will be tested. And based on that, some people might need to make a change.